can't handle this right now. Chris is literally trying to open the doors of a gas station, and he can't figure it out.
And Olivia easily got it.
And Olivia got in the first time. Chris is like, he's like, I can't do it. I don't know what to do.
Like, literally just turned to us with this face of like, I'm doing
He's like, what do I do?
Oh, they must have just closed the...
They literally just locked up. No, knock again. They're right there.
Oh, they're
Yeah,
right.
woo! They let us in to buy energy drinks. Woo! Boom! Shakalaka-da-goo.
All right, we'll return to the podcast. And we're the boys.
Yeah.
Oh, we're the boys.
Boys.
We're the boys.
We're the boys.
We're the boys.
We're
And
the
Anna
boys.
is a boy, and Mitch is a boy, and Chris is a boy, and Tim is a boy. And together we're the boys and the boys.
Hey guys, welcome to podcast 10. We are all together driving to
Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit, yes, to go to White Castle to get the famous burgers. Heard they're not that good, but at least it's for the famousness.
You heard they're not that
I've heard
good?
lots of bad things about them.
What?
Yeah.
I heard they were awesome.
Hey, Chris, what time
I
is
heard
it?
I hope we're not disappointed.
I heard a lot about stuff.
Okay.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so it's a 3.5 hour drive there and back. We're leaving. It's 12 o'clock now.
Midnight, not midday.
Yeah, at midnight.
Midnight.
So
And
we're
gonna
all set.
Okay, guys, I want to start this podcast off with a little bit of a pep talk that I gave Mitchell, but I want to give you the
Yes.
podcasters.
So
Okay.
I'm driving a standard, and I haven't driven a standard in forever, and I only
And Chris is
learned
gonna
the
kill us.
standard on the farm. So I
Yeah.
really don't know.
So
what
our
I'm
driver
doing.
doesn't drive standard.
Yeah. So here we go.
We,
Chris, love.
we don't really know where we're going. And
Yeah.
we're probably gonna get.
There is no GPS.
There is a GPS.
It's not on the GPS lot. So, pep talk, guys. Pep talk time. Okay,
PTT.
what is the real reason for this trip? I had to ask myself. Okay? I had to ask myself, why are we going? Are we going for Nana? Or are we going for burgers? Or are we going for... What are we going for?
Right.
Okay, now I kind of want to hear what you guys have to think at the start of this pep talk, like pep talk question.
So there's no right or wrong answer. It's just what we think.
why are you going?
Well, no,
He'll tell you the right answer.
I'll tell you what I think. Yeah, like there is, like to be honest, there is no correct answer.
Okay.
But there's an answer that I felt like is the answer. I don't know for me, and so like why are you going?
Nana, you can start.
Anyone?
Okay, so initially, for me, one of my favorite movies is Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. And the whole purpose of the entire movie is these two guys who smoke up and they want the perfect food and they see a commercial for White Castle on TV and they're like, that's our perfect food. And the entire night is the movie of them keep getting sidetracked. The White Castle isn't where they thought it would be. It was, moved into another location, and everything happens to them along the way through this night. But they're like, no, we've come too far. We're gonna prevail and get to White Castle.
That sounds like
so like at 6 a.m. in the morning, they finally get to White Castle, and their characters both take this journey and become different people by the end of the night. So I like the concept of taking a trip. I think that is like what I like about the movie. But why I'm actually following through and doing it, aside from the fact I've always been curious, and the White Castle has the very typical white bricks and blue background, and it's something I've seen millions of times but never in person. But it's also because I wanted to make a memory because Tim and I have talked about taking a road trip and
Everyone's wanting to go for a road trip.
doing something spontaneous. Yeah. Now, if this had been planned 3 weeks ago, it wouldn't be as fun.
Yeah.
It's the fact that we're just we should do this.
And we have no idea what we're doing.
And we don't know what we're doing. That's part of the appeal for me, because I am a spontaneous person in my heart, but I've let anxiety and things overwhelm me over the years. So for me, this is road trip with some of my favorite people on the planet.
Which ones are your favorites?
All of you. I love you all.
And if we get lost, that's just a part of the adventure.
That's right.
Okay.
So that was my answer. So it
Yeah.
was twofold. One, the idea of
The inception.
yes,
Yeah.
but also just doing something spontaneous and fun with my crew.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, what do you think it's about?
I'm going to support Sheri's dream, pretty much. But
That's my dream. It's my dream.
I'm also going because like the real thing would be is car trip. It's fun. We get to do some podcasts and hang out together. Really, relationship like anything.
And can I just say, I'm like so thrilled that Olivia came with us.
Yeah.
Because like.
What a sport.
Yeah, total trooper, Olivia. So
we pull
word
crazy
up to
shenanigans,
Olivia.
so the fact that you're up for it is
very cool.
great.
Yeah, they're saying that you are very strong because you have decided to agree to something completely insane and dumb and irresponsible.
And it really is all of those things.
Like most of the people here have to work
Dangerous.
tomorrow. 2 of the people here have to work tomorrow. The other 2 have a 9-hour trip up to Ottawa. So
Yeah. Okay, so what's
So,
yours?
Olivia.
Yeah, Olivia,
What's your reason
doing
for
this?
coming and doing this?
Why didn't you just stay at home in your comfy bed?
Because I finally have something to do that is fun and exciting.
Woo!
That I can talk with people and laugh.
Yay!
I can get mine.
Wait.
So what is your reason?
Twinkles?
Twinkle! Oh!
Sparkles!
Sparkles! That
That's
was from
Olivia's
Sparkles.
That's a very good reason, Olivia, to have
So,
you.
Mitchell, what is your reason for coming?
Alright, well, I was kind of like, I guess I'll go. It's kind of like I guess, why not,
You seriously weren't that pumped
And that
for
was
coming?
from
I
Boot!
wasn't really. I mean, to be honest, I wasn't really.
No, what's
nor
your
am I
nickname?
kind
Well,
of, but I'm excited
honestly,
to hang out and do a car
originally-
trip,
Originally, I was
Because
interested in
it's not
going.
my dream. Just like Paris, remember?
Wait,
remember
Chris,
you looking at
it's
the ice?
Mitchell's talk time.
Sorry, I'll come back to it.
Sorry, go ahead, Mitchell.
Originally, I was interested in going because Sheri was talking about it, and I was imagining like this place that was looked almost like a corporation version of like a
It
castle.
totally does.
And then,
It's
and then also was gonna maybe have great treats and desserts and that type of thing. That's what I was imagining. And then I heard that it was just hamburgers, and I was like, what? Why are we driving 6 hours for hamburgers?
And what I've heard is it's not really that good hamburgers.
Oh, no!
Like
That's such a
I've heard
bummer.
someone I went to Indiana Bible school with who lives he lives in the
Are
U.S.
you using the blanket?
He was telling someone at the storefront a lot of it wasn't it's horrible, but
Jeez.
imagine
That's gonna suck.
you worked at KFC, imagine that, but
Yeah.
it's McDonald's.
So Tim, what's the
But
real
it's not
reason?
chicken.
we're
Okay,
going?
guys,
No, it's like
Here you
McDonald's
go.
burgers,
Oh, okay.
this is
This is the
why
real reason why.
this is why we're doing it.
Okay.
The boys!
Wait,
Woo!
because
The boys!
we're the boys.
We're the
Okay,
boys.
okay.
Oh, we're the boys. Oh, we're the boys. Yeah, we're the boys. We're the boys. We're the boys. We're the boys. Yeah, we're the boys.
Oh,
We're the boys. And Mitch is a boy.
We gotta get Olivia
And
in there,
Tim
too.
is
Well,
a boy.
she's an official
And Olivia's a boy, and Chris is a
And
boy,
Chris
and Nana's
is
a
a
boy, and Mitch is a boy, and Timmy's a boy, and Olivia's
And Olivia's a
and Tim is
This
a
is
boy,
horrible,
and
guys.
Mitch
And
is
we're
a
about-
boy,
it's 'cause we're
and Olivia's
boys.
a boy, and
Boys.
everybody's boys.
Okay, so let's first get over what I need to know. So the check engine's light on. The
It doesn't
car
matter.
has 2 lights on the back of its symbol. What is that?
Jeez.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter the check engine lights is
Look,
on. And
I know the car is
dashboard
making
is,
strange sounds
lit
and that it's steaming
Okay,
up
guys,
the engine,
guys.
but just ignore it.
Okay, literally, right now, this trip is literally the movie.
Yeah, literally
It is.
everything
It
over.
Okay,
actually is.
literally, Mitchell couldn't find his thing.
Yeah.
Tim doesn't
And
have
we
a
were
passport.
literally, I was just kind of holding on to this dream of relationships mattering, and that's why I was we gotta get home, and they hopefully haven't lost hope, and
Yeah, and that
See,
is
that's
the
the
whole
thing.
purpose of the movie.
Tim gave me this whole speech of what matters isn't going to White Castles. What matters is doing it together.
That's
All
right.
of us being together and
That's right.
bonding.
Okay,
It
literally.
doesn't matter if we don't
Literally.
make it. And he did this for a good 5 to 10 minutes, and he's like, and it's because we're the boys. And I was like, okay. And he's like, what? And I was like, you could have just said that, and that would have summed up the whole thing.
and I was so I could have just said it's the boys, and he's
Okay.
like, yeah, and I was like, okay, it's the boys, and he's like, I totally agree, I'm in, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
So we should explain to our podcast listeners. So the first part of this was that Mitchell. Okay, first, Mitchell needed to be taken home to get his passport. Couldn't find it. Spent like an hour looking for it. Olivia had to go to the border to make sure that she could cross because she doesn't have her green card yet. And so she's all good. She comes back. She's good. Mitchell still hasn't come back. Hasn't found the passport. Finally finds it. All 5 of us are in the car. We're like Facebook Living. Woo! Go to White Castle! Yeah! Everybody have their passport.
Well,
Tim's
that's
like,
because Chris was like, oh wait, and then he ran back inside because he forgot his passport, and then he came back out.
And then Tim's like, I totally thought Tim was messing with me because...
No, I knew. I just had it. I was like, no, that's totally, Tim would totally not think that.
And
I would
Tim
forget
actually does not have his passport, so we don't even know if we're actually going to get across the border.
But
so
if
we have yet to discover
But it's
that.
all about the journey, and it's
Yeah, that's right.
But we've heard that you can get through just with your health
License.
card or license, whatever, with your...
Then what's the point of a passport? Am I right?
Yeah.
Because...
But to be fair, you probably can't go overseas like that.
No, you can't even go over the border without a passport because they see that you have a passport, a valid passport, whether or not you have
right.
it. They just need to know if you, like...
Exist? So it's so weird. It's like, prove to us that you are, in fact, a person who exists on this earth. And it's like, look, I know that it's hard to believe physical evidence. It's not written. But is my presence in any way informing you that I, in fact, do exist?
Yeah, I think, and the thing that really, like, for me, like, appealed to me about the movie was this concept of, like literally the whole entire movie takes place in one night. And the entire quest is to get...
And that's our
The entire
podcast.
quest is to get to White Castle.
Oh my
That's it.
goodness. Okay, literally, this is not a coincidence. Every single time we tried to do this, people were working the next day.
Yeah.
There was responsibilities, and then
Yeah.
finally it came to the point where we're like, we just need to do it.
Exactly.
And every single time, it ended up landing on a midnight trip.
yeah.
It was never a during the day trip. Like,
No.
we never could plan
No,
during the day.
you're right.
It always was exactly like the movie until we kind of just submitted, like, what the sermon, what we
Submit
just
a record.
learned about during
Yeah.
church today.
I don't think you understand everything to me.
Okay, no, the entire sermon at church today was talking about submission. We submitted, okay? No,
Sure, we submitted to the trip, to the idea of the trip. Is that what you're
exactly.
To a
submitted-
castle that is white. Wait
To the
for us.
queen.
Yeah, so I was saying
saying? To America.
about like
To America.
I don't really like want to go. Neither do I ever want to go camping. But then I always, when I'm there, I want to. But like, I love the idea of us hanging out and doing podcasts. I mean, that relationship, that's great. I love it. And that we're actually talking, not just sleeping and driving. So that's
Right.
cool too.
Yeah,
But
that'd be
you
nice.
might
But
gotta
like,
speak a bit louder.
going to White Castle, I mean, personally, I'd be like, why don't we go like, Olive Garden or something,
Right.
So in France, she really, like, her whole life is wanting to go to the Eiffel Tower. Now, I've been like, it's cool. Like, I'm happy wherever I go. If I see anything, that's awesome. So, like, I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, this is, as much as anything's really cool. Then she's like,
They're kissing. Okay.
Hi.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm really glad we're in the front seat, Chris. I don't know what's going on back there. Okay, yes. There's Eiffel Tower.
But then, like, you've always wanted to see the Eiffel Tower, so like, you're like kind of tearing up. It was emotional
It was
because
very emotional
it was
for me.
built up.
Yes.
It was that's what happens when
And you
build
just
up
really
and you
wanted
keep
to see her
wanting
cry
go.
again.
So I had no building up to it that
Right,
much. I
right.
mean, I was like, whoa, there it is.
Right.
Oh man, this is cool. I mean, the tour kind of helped emphasize, this is awesome.
Yeah.
But anyways, like it's different. So
Right.
going to White Castle, I was like, okay, so I've heard from 2 different people that it's not good. And so it's like a cheeseburger joint, very low cost. Anyway, so then I was like, really, I don't care about the thing, but it's a cool drive.
But see, the thing is, we could also be sitting around the table like we were yesterday, not going anywhere, doing anything. And now at least we're like doing something.
Yeah, the
We're
idea is to
taking-
have a goal, even if the goal
Exactly.
isn't
It's
what truly
stupid.
matters.
Yeah. The Simple
It's
and
about-
dumb. Let's be honest. Like,
So we
it's
basically
never-
convinced Nana that it doesn't matter.
Literally, whatever
Wait,
we
so
eat
wait,
is not going to live
Wait,
up
this
to
is
the
a good
hype.
point. Are you going because it's, because it was in the movies, or are you going because you wanted to eat some of the food there?
I'm going because
Is it the food or the
it's
scene?
the experience of the movie that I
Okay,
want.
okay.
No,
It's
yeah.
not necessarily the food.
So we have to
So
make the rest
literally
of the
it's
trip
perfect.
as horrible as possible, is what you're saying.
No, I'm just like, so you're wanting still to go to that place.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So you wouldn't want to change the place.
No.
I would love
Okay.
to tell you all the
I
things
would
that could
not
go wrong,
want to
but
change
I'm
it.
afraid of jinxing
And
the trip.
besides, even like I love the Olive Garden, but it's like 12:30 at night. It's not going to be open. Where like a burger place that's open 24 hours a day, that's cool, man.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
legit.
it is.
That's
It's made for
legit.
people that are doing this. Woo! Okay, I want to tell you the pep talk that I told Mitchell because it was actually important to me. So I was kind of doubting this trip at youth. I was like, Chris,
Oh, I was
I don't
always
know
doubting.
if Chris
Don't
is
worry.
gonna do it. I don't know if he's gonna be like for it after youth. And Mitchell's probably gonna get tired, which he did, and I don't know what's gonna happen, and I was doubting that it was gonna happen. And then Elias said this verse that I took totally out of context, but I felt God was speaking to me.
Contest.
Felt
Took
like-
it out of the contest.
Yeah.
No more contests.
No more contests. Context.
Doubt.
So, I took it out of the context book that they have. So basically, it said like, you're walking down a path or something, and you're on a journey, and there's the seen and there's the unseen.
Right.
So it's obvious like there's seeing things and then there's not seeing things.
Right.
Everything's got eyes and not eyes. No, I'm joking. And so I was thinking, okay, like this trip, yeah, we're going to Burger Place, but what are we gonna remember? Well, yeah, we're gonna title it The Time We Went to White Castle.
Yeah.
But what is gonna be the memory? What is gonna last forever in our hearts?
Probably when we get robbed and destroyed.
Yeah, when we can't get back home because we can't pay for gas. That'll be in there.
We get stuck. We get stuck at the border.
What? No.
When we're
Heartbreak
kidnapped
Town.
and shipped across to another country.
Yeah, when we all have to
End
go
up
to
in a shipping
Mexico.
crate and end up in Mexico.
And then
Ship us
blow
to
all our
Niagara
money.
Falls.
When we're
So
all
moved.
stuck in one box and we're talking about who we should eat.
You guys, let me just clarify right now. I will sacrifice my life because you'll be able to live on me for like 2 weeks.
I love to not
You can
picture
eat
that.
me.
No,
Eat me.
And then I was hoping you were gonna say, I just want you guys to know, I'm gonna eat all y'all.
Get in my belly.
Okay, first of
Every
all,
last one of you.
first
No,
of
I
all,
will
Chris,
sacrifice myself so
okay,
you can live.
Well, good thing we
Olivia's
have that
probably
plan,
the
just in
last
case.
person we
Just
should
the
eat
backup.
because she's the smallest and eats the least amount of food.
Also, she's the smartest. But yeah, she'll last
So
the
she'll
longest.
probably outsmart
Okay, that
us.
might have been a little premature.
Okay.
but I
Guys,
think
you
she's
can
the
make a
smartest.
good
Okay, so
stew out of
guys,
me.
so
Hey,
what's
how many others of us are bilingual and learned it in 1 year?
No, Olivia should live because
she's awesome
yeah, and
she's cool
also because
and
she
she
would
can
eat
finish
the
her
least.
sentences.
Yeah, that was what Tim said
Yeah,
originally.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, Olivia. I'm the oldest. I've had the most life. Like I beat
Actually,
all
we
of you
should
guys
just
by
go-
Yeah,
2 years.
oldest to youngest.
Yeah.
Mitchell's next.
Yay!
You should eat me first.
Oh, wow, this is wrong. This is like biggest to smallest.
I like how we're really planning this out. We're like, okay, guys, we have a go plan.
Yeah.
Olivia and then
Olivia
you.
and me.
It
This is horrible.
Doesn't totally
Watch
work.
someone captures us and puts us in a box and it's like a surprise party where we're like all like, well we planned for this time to business.
So now that this has gone super dark,
I don't. Yeah.
back
that's-
Picture me like-
back to
we're-
Love and Harmony.
We're in the box.
Nope,
We're like
not happening.
we haven't even been we haven't even been put on the truck yet, and Mitchell just starts gnawing at my arm. I'm like, dude,
He's like,
we haven't even been in here for 10 seconds.
we're not even hungry.
You
And Mitchell's
said.
like, I am.
We're not even in the box. We're still in the car. We're still driving,
What do we
Mitchell.
have to take first?
He's like gnawing at my arm. I'm like,
They're
dude,
like trying to time
White
me.
Castle is right there. Can't you just wait?
No,
For a burger.
That's the Lake House, which actually is a super nice restaurant, guys.
And a good movie.
Check out Lake House, hashtag we're
Get
There
this
it
thing.
goes.
Okay, it was an okay movie.
So
I like the
basically, what lasts longer? The memories that we're building right now with each other,
Yes.
or the fact that we're driving in a car to White Castle?
The memories that we're making with each other.
Is it the castle one?
They're both even.
Yes.
It's
Well,
all in
that we're doing it together and everything.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
like the thing is, how often do all of us get to hang out? Like it
Never.
doesn't
We've
happen.
never
For
done
7
this.
hours.
What's that?
For 7 hours.
For 7 hours, yeah.
Straight.
How many times have we been like forced together in a way that we're like super confined and like have to amuse ourselves and like probably too close, like there's probably gonna be smells.
See, like honestly, for me, like even though, like yes, part of it is the whole, like you know how Mitchell, you were saying last time about like you want to go to that place where that dog statue is.
Mhm.
Like part of it is that for me, is that like I want to actually experience White Castle, but could I wait when I'm in the States and pass a White Castle and go, hey, I would like to try that.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's probably what
I
would happen.
absolutely could do that.
Yeah,
No,
we
but
would
that would-
never do this.
But that wouldn't be the
Oh,
experience.
and now this is what I was talking about. It's the build-up of the drive.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, now it's the build-up of
And
the drive.
the
because that
truth
would have just
is-
been like, oh, there it is. Now it's like an actual
Yes,
destination.
Exactly, and that's what makes it exciting. Because if I just happen to be in the States and driving by, I'm like, oh, White Castle, that's interesting. I'll go get a burger, and then there's no experience to it except the the
Oh,
curiosity.
I went
Quick
somewhere.
reward.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
quick reward. But see, the other thing is like, and like this is gonna get sappy for a second, but like a huge part of my motivation in moving to Niagara Falls in the beginning
Get
was
away
so I
from
could
White
be
Castle.
so I could be around family.
Right.
Aw.
And it's true.
And now
and-
they've all left.
I know, but it's true because like I mean not Chrissy, Wissy, but like
Oh, they left her.
like and
I left.
it's just that constant like being able to see you guys after school when you were in high school
Yeah.
and like helping you with your homework
and now
or
we
like
work together.
now we work together, but like it does feel like there's a different dynamic. And Mitchell, I didn't know you hardly at all, and then
Yeah.
we've sort of developed a relationship like through Tim and Chris, and so
An
Like,
intimate
it's
relationship.
an intimate relationship.
Let's
Mitchell
get
and I have been
intimate.
but for me, a huge part of the appeal is just spending the time together because I know you guys are going to, especially, Tim and Olivia being married, you're going to have jobs and a home and kids, and it's going to make this type of thing harder and harder
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
And especially
Wow.
when
No,
Chris
that's
moves,
weird.
like-
It's just we're gonna have to do it bigger and better, guys.
Yeah!
What? We're gonna have
No,
to take a home.
bus.
Yeah, we'll have to take a bus and
Yo,
take
guys, come back in 10 years for the White Castle reunion.
Years. Like, it's also the other thing is, I remember telling you guys that, like, for your 16th birthday, I really wanted to take you to New York City, and it was that same thing that what this is tapping into for
Right.
me is that desire to like spend time with you while you're still young, and while we're still
And do something fun.
do something fun. Exactly. Like that was the whole motivation behind wanting to go to New York together, is to do something fun with my nephews because I love you guys. And so
Oh.
that's really what it comes down to for me.
Is Olivia a nephew too?
Yes!
Yay!
Olivia's my niece.
I don't know, nephew.
And I've never had a niece that I actually like because I don't
What
actually
about me?
You're a nephew.
What?
You're not a niece.
That's assuming.
I thought you were.
You
a
could be
boy.
anything you want. Mitch is a girl. and Mitch is a girl.
Mitch
Well,
is a
don't
girl
stop
and
that
everyone
again.
else is a boy. Woo!
We are all juggling our genders.
Yeah, when did
We
Nana
call
switch
that-
to a boy and Mitch go to a girl?
This is-
Why did that happen?
This is what we call gender juggling, right?
And you're juggling. And I'm totally glad that you guys were in for this. This was awesome. I'm really like,
I was
really.
surprised because because originally we were like, we gotta leave at 10:30, and if we don't, then it can't happen. And then it was 11:30, and I was like, man,
Yeah.
I guess no one's gonna go.
I was
And then
thinking
everyone-
that too,
and
just
everyone
because it felt like, oh, it's getting late. No, like nobody's gonna want to go. And then, like Luke and Kayla were like, oh, we had such a good time at youth, and everybody was crying and praying for each other. And I was like,
Oh man.
oh man, no, that's awesome. But I mean, I just figured nobody would be down for this, so I'm super glad that you guys are, because these opportunities, Like, and like Tim and I we've talked about going to
Oh, God, I
Colorado.
farted.
We've
I
talked
didn't
about
see it.
like
It's okay.
No, actually, I don't.
Don't
think it
worry,
came
they
out.
can't
You know.
smell it over the podcast.
Guys,
we've talked about doing stuff like this. Maybe not this exactly, but we've talked
Well,
about
we did
it.
talk about doing this exactly too.
We did actually on one of the last podcasts. I think podcast 3, where we talked about. Remember when we went? We were in
When we were
Perth?
talking about horror movies, we were like,
Yes.
what if we went to
White Castle. Okay.
it's kind of cool. It's like this old 1998? 1997. Hello? What's the car?
What?
What's
What's
the car?
the make and model of your car?
Oh,
What is
it's
the car, Timothy? That we're talking.
1999
And Michael,
Camry.
1999 Camry. So it kind of looks a little fancy with the, because it's pitch black outside. Obviously, it's 12:30, and the GPS is on it. It looks really fancy. Thought I'd just point that out. Anyways, so did we go over every like awesome thing? Like
Yes.
Tim forgot his passport.
Tim forgot his passport. Mitch couldn't find his passport. Then Chris is driving a car.
We got a ton of
standard
energy
that he doesn't
drinks.
ever drink. Driving. I said drink. But Mitch and I wanted to sing Bagel Bites and we never got a chance.
Bagel bites.
Can we sing it? Okay, so do we need to set it up
So,
over the summer?
over this summer,
And under the
we lost Wi-Fi. I missed the Wi-Fi.
Yes.
And then it was another one of those situations where Nana was like, Mitchell, entertain me.
Yeah.
Because
He's
of
my
the
dancing
Wi-Fi."
monkey.
Yeah, pretty much. And so I took the song Edelweiss and I changed it
To Bagel Bites.
to Bagel Bites.
Turn off the vent because
no, it's not on.
It's not on.
So it goes a little,
Okay, here we
goes a little
go.
bit like this. Bagel bites.
Bagel Bites.
Bagel
Bagel Bites.
sure am happy to eat. Small and
White, clean and bright.
sure am
Happy to eat thee.
Yo, bagel bites, bagel bites. I can't stop eating bagel bites. Yo, day or night, whether dark or light, I can't stop eating these bagel nuts. And I'm gonna build up a bagel bite. I can't stop eating these bagel bites. Oh, what's in my throat? This bagel bite. I think I'm gonna die from bagel bites.
Bagel Bites.
Bagel
Bagel Bites.
sure am
Happy to eat thee. Woo! And then the other one that he did, which we're all very familiar with, is when the Wi-Fi went out. The words are very clear, I'm sure you can understand. Miss the Wi-Fi, I miss the Wi-Fi, miss the Wi-Fi, miss the Wi-Fi, I.
Ready?
And why did you have to go when we loved you so? And why we were friends until the end? And I miss the Wi-Fi, miss the Wi-Fi, miss the Wi-Fi, I miss the Wi-Fi, 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 A bagel bites.
And we're the boys. And we're the boys. And we're the boys. Yeah, we're the boys. We're the boys. We're the boys. We're the boys.
This is a musical podcast.
Yes, our
Well,
musical
actually, hey,
version.
how about we're about done this one, eh? Because we kind of changed the subject now. And I think it was
Yeah.
a good little sing-song end.
Sure.
And maybe we should end it now. So we should say goodbye
That's
to
a
you
short.
guys.
That's a short.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean,
Bye
nobody's gonna listen to our hour.
Bye to Sherry's friend.
Bye.
Bye, Mom.
Bye-bye. Love you guys.
Bye, Mom.
Please download this and listen every day.